welcome into Coach's Corner's Bracket Fight Series. As always, I am your host, Lucas Kochevar. We're back with another bracket fight. That's right, we kind of got off track there with the drinks last time. That was not my best work for vetting a bracket, but I think we came up with a better one here, and that is the sandwich bracket. That's right, we're doing sandwiches today. Some of these are going to be easy to fly through. Some of these are going to be a little bit more debatable once we get down to the Elite Eight and whatnot. But let's get right into it, because I would say I'm a pretty big sandwich man myself. Both a curse and a blessing is tasting a yummy sandwich, but also you have to eat that bread, and I will gobble up bread. That is my promise to you. I love bread, like Oprah would say. Bread is my love. So either way, sandwich bracket fight, here we go. First one, we have Italian sub versus pulled pork. Can't say I'm a big super Italian sub guy, that I've had a bunch of it, and I'm going to ignore sometimes. Like, this one says pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and coleslaw. I'm going to imagine it the way I would eat it, and that is no coleslaw. And then cured meats, oil, vinegar, or onion and lettuce. Like, I wouldn't have basically onion and lettuce. So, it's how I would have it. Probably most of these are just going to be me eating the meat and bread or cheese. But regardless, starting off here, I got to go pulled pork. I'm a barbecue man. I love barbecue so much. Barbecue is, it is a blessing, and I love it so much. So pork is moving on. Next, we have a caprese versus a bagel with lox. Haven't had either of these, but just based off the picture, I might just base some of these off the picture. I'm going to go with caprese. Now, Italian beef versus French dip. French dip is one of my dad's favorites. I enjoy it myself. I haven't had it in a while, but there was a little period in my life where I was a French dip man. Then we have Italian beef. I'm going to go with the French dip here. I think that's a good choice there. Next, we have a turkey club versus bologna. Now, that's a load of bologna right there. Frankly, I'm going to go with the turkey club, although I know that the appeal is the lettuce, bacon, or lettuce, tomato, and mayo. I would just do the turkey and bacon. But it's more so I don't like bologna. I don't like bologna at all. Such not a fan. And this one, it just says bologna and mustard. Ugh. Then we get back to the top here. Pulled pork versus a caprese. Oh, I'm going to go with the pulled pork. Like I said, barbecue man. I got to have me some barbecue on some bread there. And then French dip versus turkey club. I'm going to go with the French dip. The Oz, I don't know how you say it. The liquid it comes with, that it's a really good liquid, and I think I have to go with that. Then we have a po' boy versus a cubano, and that's a pretty good sandwich there. Looks like it, at least, minus pickles, mustard. But a po' boy, I've had a shrimp po' boy before, and fried shrimp on bread is a pretty money combo there that you wouldn't expect to be that good. So I'm going to go with the po' boy. Then a tonkatsu versus a torta. Let's do some research here, because I don't know how to judge. I don't know how to judge this tonkatsu. Let's go to the images here. It just looks like fried pork. Yeah, it's just fried pork chop on bread. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. It actually sounds pretty good. And then torta. We're going to look up a torta. And it's just a weirdly breaded thing. Okay, weirdly breaded steak bean. Let's go with tonkatsu. Why not? That looks fun. Lobster roll versus roast beef. Ooh. Roast beef immediately comes to mind as a bad thing. But Arby's roast beef, pretty dang good. And a lobster roll. I haven't had a lobster roll because I don't I don't love lobster. Go with the roast beef. Fried chicken sandwich versus a BLT. This is a classic matchup. Two heavyweights. Fried chicken has to be the choice, though. The chicken just fried is so good. There was a whole outrage with Popeyes starting their chicken sandwich, and that was a war. Now, croquet monsieur versus a tuna melt. I don't like tuna. Tuna stinks. Tuna stinks out loud. Not doing tuna. Croquet monsieur. Then a Monte Cristo versus a Reuben. Ooh, this is actually, I think, an underrated matchup. I haven't had either of these, but looking at the picture / the description of it, I'm going to go with the Monte Cristo. The Monte Cristo sounds like a delicious sandwich. Then we're back at the top. Pulled pork versus French dip. Shout out Layla in the back there. Pulled pork. Pulled pork's got to be the choice. Barbecue sauce is just it sends it over the edge for me because barbecue sauce I think is better than the beef Oz. Then we got tonkatsu versus po' boy. Haven't had the tonkatsu in real life, but the po' boy I have. Fried chicken versus roast beef. And you know the thing about the fried chicken sandwiches is it's good on its own, but when you add a sauce to it, it like elevates it so much. Like you can put any sauce on a fried chicken sandwich, and I think it's just delicious. So fried chicken sandwich, you are the choice. The croquet monsieur versus a Monte Cristo. Haven't had either of these, but just judging off of the picture I'm gonna go with the Monte Cristo. And back at the top, pulled pork is on a run. Pulled pork is boat racing the competition, kind of like Connecticut. They're kind of the Yukon right now of the sandwich bracket world. Then a fried chicken versus a Monte Cristo. I feel like I have to go with the one that I've had probably the most in my life, and that's a fried chicken sandwich. For the championship berth. Oh man, pulled pork versus fried chicken sandwich. Because I think of pulled pork, so I worked at a barbecue restaurant, so I had a lot of pulled pork during my time there. And the way you can actually customize it, like putting mac and cheese on it, doing different stuff to make it elevated is elite. Where fried chicken, I think, is like you get what you get, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a knock. It's still a fried chicken sandwich. It's delicious, but I'm going to go with the pulled pork sandwich. I think their ceiling is higher. I think, the pulled pork sandwich just gets it done. Just the greatness when it is great is just out of this world. Where I think for chicken sandwich is more of a, I won't say plain Jane, but it's more mundane. It's more, consistent. But the ceiling on the pulled pork is so high. And then we're on the other side of the bracket here. Who's going to challenge the pulled pork sandwich? It's not the banh mi. Whatever the banh mi is, we're going with the meatball sub. Meatball sub is, I think, one of the best Italian-related dishes, I think, in the world. A good meatball sub nails every component. The meatballs are juicy. The cheese is melted perfectly. The sauce is sweet. The bread is toasted. A perfect meatball sub is that guy. Falafel pita, maybe, versus a veggie and hummus. We're going with the falafel, sure. I don't like either of those. They're going to lose later, but a bocadillo versus egg salad. Let's look up what a bocadillo is. Let's use the country voice. What's that bocadillo? In Spain, oh yeah, bocadillo. Okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. And versus an egg salad, frankly, I'm gonna be honest. Egg salad does not sound more appealing than this, so we're gonna go with that. The bocadillo gets the win. Kentucky hot brown. I don't know how on God's green earth that is a sandwich. Versus cucumber tea, which sounds like an awful British thing that goes with tea. we're going to go with Kentucky Hot Brown just because turkey bacon, pretty money combo. Now, meatball sub versus... We're just gonna. This is where we go quick. We're going fast, up tempo. Meatball sub moves on easily against very inferior opponents. Now, a cheesesteak versus a patty melt. Oh no, my heart. This is one of those classic matchups. A patty melt from Steak and Shake hits like no other patty melt. The sauce on it is delicious. It's a nice, beautiful burger type sandwich, I would say. But the cheesesteak, man, the cheesesteak nails the cheese and meat ratio on a great baguette type bread. I'm going with the cheesesteak. Chicken salad versus jambon beurre. French ham and salted butter. Sounds kind of delicious, actually. Let's look it up. Jambon beurre. Okay, it doesn't look as appetizing here as I would have thought, but I still think those are two money condiments over the chicken salad. Jambon beurre. Then a gyro versus, or gyro, words that I can't pronounce properly. That's what this sandwich bracket is. Versus a grilled cheese. I make a money grilled cheese. I know exactly how to do it perfectly. I get the seasoning. I put it on the buttery bread. I get different types of cheeses. I cut down the cheeses so it's like more fresh. It's not the packaged cheese. And I put it together, put it on there, get it to a nice crispy brown that you can go like king with your knife on it. Flip it, season it again with some like garlic salt. Grilled cheese is the choice here. Then a croquet madame versus PB&J. This is like when the rich private kid school comes into town to play the very rough backwoods school in basketball, and the underdog wins in the Disney movie because the one boy from the very broken family's like, I have to play the game of my life. PB&J with the dub. Liverwurst, oh god, versus bacon, egg, and cheese. Let's look up what a liver. Oh, that can't be a real sandwich. That looks disgusting. Bacon, egg, and cheese. You're boat racing them. And then Thanksgiving. I love the name of that because turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce versus ham and cheese. A very classic. This is like a good old-fashioned post-up versus the crazy spacing offense. I think the good old-fashioned post-up gets the win here with ham and cheese. Meatball sub versus bocadillo. I'm going to go meatball sub. Meatball sub seems like a pretty easy one. Like I said, its peak is just so high. And then I'm going to go with the one that I've had, the cheesesteak. Pretty easy there. And then grilled cheese versus PB&J. Hard worker, first one out, or first one in the gym, last one to leave. Grilled cheese, makes some good shots when you need it to. I have to go with the grilled cheese. The ups and downs are more, but I think when you nail it, you nail it. Then bacon, egg, and cheese versus a ham and cheese. I'm going ham and cheese here. The egg sometimes just doesn't do it for me compared to, you know what you're getting with a ham and cheese. Then meatball sub versus a cheesesteak. Oh, my heart again. This is two of my favorites. You know how I described how the perfect meatball sub is just so perfect? Well, I mean, obviously the perfect cheesesteak is just otherworldly as well for a lunch item. But the thing is I think you get more average to really above average cheesesteaks than you get a consistent meatball. I think it's either the bread is hard to eat. Meatball subs sometimes can be messy. Sometimes you just have to eat it with a fork. But cheesesteak, you can eat it with your hands pretty easily as a sandwich, not as an entree with a knife and fork. Grilled cheese versus ham and cheese. Grilled cheese, I think, gets the win here. That feels like a pretty solid cheese. You don't even need the ham. That's how strong grilled cheese is. And cheesesteak versus a grilled cheese. I gotta go with the cheesesteak. And I won't even say I'm a big cheesesteak guy. Like, I'm not even going to claim that because I'm more of a chicken Philly guy. You substitute the steak with chicken, it's just as good a sandwich. It really is. And, this right here, I think, is the perfect matchup. If I could eat these, like, every week without gaining weight, I would. I would so do it so fast. And cheesesteak versus pulled pork for the title, best sandwich in this times bracket fight. Really thinking on it. Oh man, this is a brutal one. And I would love to go to Philadelphia at some point just to try their cheesesteaks, like just as a because Philly cheesesteak is obviously famous because of Philly, but I'd love to try that. But man, pulled pork. I could eat like 3 pulled porks in one sitting, where I think a cheesesteak, I think you pretty much maxed out as a sandwich. For a number of reasons, I do think that it's tastier. I think the sauce does more justice on it. I think the bread is a very solid bread, especially a brioche bun, per se, with a toasted too. I think I have to give the winner to the sandwich that I've probably eaten either the most or close to the most in my life. It's definitely top 5. Pulled pork. Pulled pork, you are the champion of the sandwich bracket fight. Hold on. Here we go. Pulled pork, you are the champion, my friend. And that's it for the bracket fight. That's the sandwich. Final 4 here. Very strong. Pulled pork, cheesesteak, grilled cheese, and fried chicken. A very strong ending, a very strong bracket. Some tough choices we had to make, some fun French words we got to pronounce, and some very nasty looking sandwiches we got to look up. But that'll do it for me. I am your host, Coach Var. Make sure to check out the podcast, Coach's Corner. Find it anywhere you get podcasts, I suppose. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And until next time, goodbye.